talk about something that has been boiling my piss all weekend. And this morning on my dog walk, I finally worked out why it was grinding my gears so badly. So over the weekend, I mentioned in my stories, I was calling out this whole like 7-figure coach, I'm a millionaire type vibes that I'm hearing far too frequency. And on the surface of it, I was just feeling like annoyed by it because it was misleading, right? In any other sphere of respected business, when you measure the success of your business by revenue, which obviously business coaches are doing, you are talking about annual revenue, not the amount of cash that you've collected since you started your business. Like the rest of the world don't do that, okay? People in the business coaching space are talking about lifetime business revenue like it's an annual achievement. And they're not correcting people who rightly assume as business coaches that they would be operating under like accepted business norms. Have you seen this? Like, am I the only person that's out there finding this really fucking annoying? Now, I'm not saying that it is not worth celebrating this statistic. I recently shared in the 500, like the clues in the title, right? 500k masterclass, that I've crossed well over 500,000 in revenue in my coaching business since 2022, right? And that is a stat. Morning, everybody. Morning, morning, morning. I can see you all. That is a real stat, right? It's a real number and I am proud as fuck about it, right? But I'm not lying or I'm not misrepresenting. Don't want to say lying, but I think it's misrepresenting at the very least that I am now making 500,000 a year, right? And I could not understand why this was pissing me off so much. Like, why do I care about this? Why does it matter? Who cares, right? My people know I'm transparent. My people know my results are my results and my clients' results are their results and do you know what I mean? Like my people get this, right? But why was this bugging the shit out of me? And I realised this morning on my dog walk, I was on my little walk, like literally came back half an hour ago with Buddy. And I was like, this is what it is. Because I've fucking been here before. I've been here before in education. So let me give you a little bit of context, right? Because I think this is really, really important. Before I became a doula in 2010 and then went on to start mentoring doulas in like 2016 and training doulas and all of that stuff. Before I started this part of my business, the coaching part, I worked in corporate for 13 years. I was a business analyst. That was the last job that I did in corporate. And before that, I worked mainly in IT roles. So systems developer, was on the help desk, operations, all that kind of thing. And I got to a point within my career where I sat there and thought, if I don't leave here, I am going to retire here. And I am done making money for other people, for shareholders, and it not really mattering. It's fucking insurance, right? It's not groundbreaking. It's not changing the world. Not really. Anyway, so I decided, I was like, I want to do something different. I want to make a difference. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know how it was going to pan out, but I knew I could use the skills that I'd built over the past 13 years to do something that actually mattered in the world. And so I quit that job. I took voluntary redundancy. Even though I was a single mom, I had a mortgage, I had bills to pay, I had all those things, but I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I started applying for jobs that I saw as making a difference in the world. And so I'll give you some examples of the kind of jobs that I was applying for. One job that I applied for was in the NHS. Ironically, irony of ironies when I work with so many midwives who've left the NHS. I applied for a job in the NHS. The job was rolling out like computer systems basically to GP surgeries, traveling all over the country. I wouldn't be treating the patients, right? I was not going to be the one helping. I was not about to somehow become a GP overnight, but I would be part of something that was doing something to help people. It was for the greater good, right? Another job that I applied for, this was the one that I really wanted. And they basically said to me, you're overqualified, you're going to leave. Like, that was the reason. They said, we think you're brilliant, but you're going to leave. This company was a little software house that had a product that collected information, questionnaires, experiences of kids that were in the care system. They were in care, children in care. And I would be the data analysis person for them. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is the job. I didn't get the job because they said I were overqualified and I'd probably leave really, really quickly. I was very sad about that. So, improving experiences, kids in care, like doing something with my skills to make a difference. It was ticking all the boxes. And then the final job that I applied for, and the one that I actually took, was working as the data manager in a school. And it was going to be making a difference to these kids. But it not only were going to make a difference to these kids, it were going to make a difference to me, because unbeknown to me, the day that I walked in the door was the day that I clapped eyes on my husband, who I've been married to for 20 years next year, which is kind of blowing my mind. So, but in the context of this story, I thought, this is it. I can make a difference to these kids. I'm not teaching them. I'm not in front of them. But what I am doing is the data analysis that finds which kids are going to fall through the gaps, which ones need extra help, extra support, extra mentoring. And then I had the opportunity to become a student mentor as well. I did that. I didn't get paid for it. I did it on the side because I was like, I don't just want to find who these kids are. I want to support these kids. I want to work with these kids. And I sat next to them, kids that didn't have a lot of, support and help at home, who were disillusioned by this education system, who were probably, struggling, maybe even going to drop out. And I coached them. I mentored them. One of those students, who was also called Lisa, by the way, went on to become a midwife. How fucking full circle is that? But that's by the by. Anyway, that part of the job was directly making a difference. I was like, I'm not just doing it behind the scenes, I'm doing it in front. I'm literally on the front line making a difference. And what was I doing there? Doing something that was for the good of the people that this organisation, this institution was there to support and serve. But here's what I realised really, really quickly when I was working in education. The data analysis that I was doing back then, that main part of my job, it wasn't actually to help the students. It looked like it was, and there were people in that system that were doing that for sure. But the reason was primarily to make the school look better. This data was there to make the school look better, to cook the books, to make the school look better. It was a way of finding and manipulating that data so that statistically the school went up the ratings or didn't fall further down the ratings, so they could tick the boxes. Like, what was it back in the day then? We're talking about 20 years ago. Obviously, like GCSEs are numbers now. It was like 5A stars or 5C and above or whatever it was back in the day, right? They don't even measure it like that anymore. Hi, darlings. Hello. So good to see you. But the point is, it was not for the student. The real reason was for the good of the fucking institution, to make them look good, to move them up the league tables and to serve their agenda. And that is why I left that job. Because it was smoke and mirrors, lies, damn lies and statistics. That and the fact that I worked for an absolute psychopath who claimed to be getting messages from fucking God and then emailing them to everybody at 4:00 in the morning aggressively and then ripping people to shreds in meetings. So I actually stood up and walked out and said, fuck that, I quit. I'm not working with idiots like you. Very godly behaviour, but whatever. Anyway, I left because I was like, this is not helping the people it is supposed to help. It is serving the institution, not the kids. And this morning, when I was walking in the sunshine, it's beautiful out there, sunshine, blue skies, walking across the bridge to go to the pharmacy with the dog, I was like, that's it. That is why this is pissing me off, this 7-figure coach bullshit that I'm seeing in the coaching, in the business coaching space. It is the same dynamic. It's the same dynamic. People are cooking the books to make themselves look good. People are cooking the books to make themselves look good, not serve the people that they are claiming they are here to help. It's absolute, like, gaslighting. You are not doing it for the benefit of your clients. You're doing it for the benefit of yourself. Your positioning, your credibility, your ability to charge more, all of those things to look more successful. And I am not saying, hear me when I say this, I am not saying that people should not be tooting their horn and blowing their own trumpet about what they've achieved during the lifetime of their business. To get £1 million, dollars, potatoes, fucking euros, whatever. I don't actually care what it is. But to cross 7 figures in your business in the lifetime of your business is a massive achievement worthy of note and celebration, unquestionably. As long as the lifetime of the business isn't like 35 years, right? Because otherwise we're probably all millionaires if we just work in a sort of like average salaried job. Eventually you're going to be a fucking millionaire, right? That is what's pissing me off. The point is this: when you use lifetime business revenue as a credential, as a title, as a tool to position yourself, you are doing it for yourself, not your clients. And that is what pisses me off. That is what pisses me off. Because the women that I work with, like the birth workers, the doulas, the midwives, those ambitious people that are actually making a difference in the fucking world, are being sold nonsense, fantasy, by people that are prioritising optics over outcomes. So they're being told, like, you know, this person has done something worthy of note without a shadow of a doubt. And now I can like teach you to do that. But what does that actually mean, right? Like, what does it actually mean? Does it mean that your business is profitable, or that you've just, you know, made a lot of cash and spent a lot of it, all of it? Does it mean that your clients are getting better results? Or is it just that you're really good at marketing yourself? Because judging on some of the shit I've experienced recently, and in particular this weekend, there is a lot of really good marketing with a bunch of dross sat behind it, for real. So I realised this morning that I left my job in education because I did not want to participate in a system that prioritised the institution over the people that it existed to serve. I walked away from the financial security of a job because I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm doing something that is for the greater good. And so I'm not going to be quiet about what I'm seeing in the coaching industry, in the business coaching space around these numbers. Transparency matters. Integrity matters. It matters. It really fucking matters. And I know it matters to my people. I know that they value that. So if you happen to be hearing this and you are somebody in the business coaching space, hopefully not, because I don't follow loads of them. I like to keep things clean and clear around here. But if this does happen across you, you are doing this to serve yourself. You say you have come into this business to do something for the greater good, to help your clients to achieve things that are going to change their lives, their clients' lives, the world, and all of that. And that's not what this smoke and mirrors bullshit around numbers does. And that's not the kind of business that I'm here to talk about. So that's why I've shared openly. In 2023, in 2024, I shared everything that I made in 2023. I might do that again. Who would like me to do that again? I'm really happy to do that again. I shared on my stories yesterday exactly what I made in my business in the last 4 years that totals the $500,000 that I talked about in the 500k masterclass. I care about real numbers, real profit, real sustainability, real like client results, client outcomes, not vanity metrics. Go to my Instagram bio. It doesn't talk about what I've made. It talks about what I help you to make. Your results are what matter. So I don't know. Playing's difficult. So people would say to stay in your lane and not piss on other people. I'm not pissing on other people's success. Hear me when I say that. That success is incredible. And go back to the beginning if you didn't catch it. That's what I was saying. It's amazing. It's worthy of note. But what has that got to do, first of all, with what you can help your clients to achieve? That's why when you go to my bio, it's about what I can, have, and will help you to achieve as my client. My 500k is not mentioned on my bio because it's fucking irrelevant. It's just something awesome to celebrate. It's a stat, it's real, but it's irrelevant in this conversation. So let me just come back and make sure I haven't missed anything else. Yeah. Celebrate yourself by all means, but let's think about what's in integrity. People are putting things out there about what they've achieved, and it's not what people think it is. It's not actually what people think it is. I was talking to someone the other day about this. If you are an estate agent and you have made millions in commission over the lifetime of your business, are you a multi-seven, 8-figure coach, business coach? No, you're not. What I expect when I hear that is annual revenue, consistent annual revenue. And that's that. P.S. I love you too, darling. Jess, who I always go, Jess with an E. And she's just Jess. She's just Jess Evans. All right, so rant over. I am here to help you build something real. It is about you, your numbers, your statistics, your outcomes. That's what we're about around here. So this is my question for you. Like, what do you want to know? Like, what do you want to know when you hire someone to help you with your business? When you're deciding to work with them, what do you want to know? Is it how much they've made since they've started? Is it how much they've made in a year? Is that just an interesting part of it? Or is it whether they can actually help you with the thing that you're struggling with the thing that gets you the results, and how much their clients are making? That's what I want to talk about around here. And that's why I will never stop bragging about my clients' results, because they are the litmus test for my coaching. So here endeth the lesson. I love you. Let me know what you think. Like, I am here for it. My DMs are always open. But I realised this on my walk this morning, and I was like, I've got to share it. So there you go. All right, my darlings, it is boiling here. The sun is blazing through the window and I basically can't see anything. And this Botox is needed to get topped up. All right, my loves, I love you. I appreciate you. See you in all the usual places. Ciao.